Dear students, we'll be talking about screening. You have to listen to it. You'll learn a lot. If you're good in communication, this can be a good eye-opener for you. In case you're poor in communication, we'll be coming up with the Hindi version. Now, screening process is done in service selection board, and some of the candidates are sent back immediately after the very first day. It is sad. So one has to master this art of screening so that they at least stay on for 6 days. Then only they'll be analyzed in details and their selection will be possible. So please pay attention about the screening process. The topics we are going to discuss is going to be about picture perception discussion test. We're going to talk about the basic precautions in writing the story. We'll be talking about sequential thought. We'll be talking about group discussion, the way you are supposed to discuss. The methodology of participation we have developed out of our own research. And last but not the least, we are going to talk about participation degree, how much you should participate. Now, when you go down to a hall, there in picture perception discussion test, your assessors will sit down and all of you will be sitting in a group in a semicircle fashion. They'll be watching each of you and thereafter analyzing. So this picture can tell you what will happen really. The picture is basically going to analyze 3 parts: story writing, story narration, group discussion. Now, in story writing, they will come to know about your psychological thought process. In story narration, they will come to know about your communication power, the ability to be effective. Because if you cannot communicate, it will be very poor leadership, unfortunately. So please develop your communication. And last but not the least, in the group discussion, we'll identify your behavior. And we'll also identify the way you cooperate and the way you help the group function. Now, the instructions you'll be given by the ladies and gentlemen, you'll be given a piece of paper. After you see the picture, you're supposed to write for 30 seconds. You will see, and after that, the light will go out. And then for 1 minute, we will give you to record all your observations. Then 4 minutes to write a story, right? You can read all these PDF files would be there, so you can reread them. It's been very compiled and made very concise so that you can understand. And thereafter, you are supposed to write a story of what the hero saw and it's happening and what is the result. Now, you will be notified when 1 minute is over that you have now 4 minutes to write. In your story writing, you need not to describe the picture. Very important point. There are many people who tend to describe that there are 4 people. You don't have to do that. You just have to pick the idea from that. Okay. Ravi was standing with his 4 friends. That is the way you can pick it up. Or there was a farmer, he was talking to 4 people. This way. Don't describe. Next, we come down to observation of picture display. Like this picture will be there and you'll have a box where you will have to write a title also and do all the necessary observation. We will be telling you all in detail so that you can pick. But still, before we rush up to revise, we will tell you the introduction. Now see, there are 4 people given. One seems a lady. There are 2 boys. There's 1 person who's not very clear. So they will tell you to point 1, 2, 3 dots, 4 dots. And you'll have to make it in the same place, like there. So here, 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 and here. Now in this case, it's unclear, so you can write P. In this case, it is clear, so you can write M. In this case also, you feel it's M, so you want to write M, you can write M. That means male gender. And this one, you can write F, which is the female gender. And you see the age is around 30 to 40, so you can pick up 35. And you can put these up 18 or 19 years, or whatever this person is already there. Mood, you can put all of them do not look to be very unhappy, so you can put them neutral or positive, as the case may be. Right? And once you've done this, then whomever you want to make this central character, make this. You want to talk about the student and his experience, telling in his family, you can make him the central character and write this. The points are repeated here. Mark the points in the square, all the numbers. Mark the gender, which I've already explained you. There are 3 genders, male, female, and we are not talking about transgender, we are talking of unclear, then we are talking about P person. Then we talk about the age you can identify generally. At some occasions, you will be given additional points. So do not go only by this. Listen to the instructions of the officer very carefully. Now, even there comes about the mood, positive, negative, neutral. You can do that. And then you have to insert the central character. By identifying the central character, you do a great thing, because you get a direction. Once you have a hero, then you can make a story around that. So please do that very carefully. Once the picture or crowd is there, as I've told you, you can sum them up. Then you have to write a pen title. Suppose there is an accident, You can write rescuing, helping, that can be one. Got it? So now we come down to the importance of PPDT. What is the importance? The importance of picture perception discussion test is three. Number one, to check your psychological thought process, your originality of your thought process, your sensibility of your thought process. Next, your communication power. And third, your behavioral part. So they identify with your stories, different thoughts, what kind of thinking you have. Generally, a person will always think as per experience or as per exposure or as per aspiration. So in that case, they will identify what kind of person you are. You will get all these PDFs, I've already said that, and you can write the end result. Now in basic precautions, what are you supposed to do? The very first thing is originality of the story, relevance of the story, and sequence of the story. What do you mean by original of the story? There are many people who listen to YouTube, pick up a story and copy it dot to dot. But you are only not doing that. Many others are also doing that. So that becomes a copycat story. Then there comes to relevance. Now suppose the picture is of a farmer working in the field and you're making a scientist and you're talking about NASA, it looks irrelevant. So you have to write something about the farm. If it is an agricultural application, okay. But it has to be relevant to the picture shown. Then comes sequential thought. Are you able to develop the story till the end? That is what they will check. So you should write in a sequence. You begin with the character creation. Thereafter, what did the character see? What did the character think? What did the character started doing? What was the problem? Then what further thought? And finally, you can end it up with successful completion. This is something which you should do as a sequence. The candidate must begin with creation of a character. I've already told you. Example, if the picture shown is of hospital, then the character must be doctor, nurse, attendant, or anyone for that matter. But it cannot be irrelevant. That is why I'm saying creating a good hero can help you have good direction. Next, if the picture shown is of general nature, since you are a youth, boy or a girl, and if you see girl, so you can think of a good girl like your experience and write it down. Or if you see a boy and you want to write some good experience of yours, you can write it down. If the picture shown is of an agricultural field, then naturally I have told you, you should think of a farmer, village development officer, Gram Pradhan or village youth as the hero. This way you will have directional thought and you will be writing relevantly. Now we come down to the holistic impression. You should observe the picture carefully, because sometimes what happens, you run too fast and you are not able to observe that behind there are many things given. For example, there is a girl talking to a boy, but behind that it is written fashion show. So automatically you have a direction if you see properly. But if you do not, if you ignore that, then you will write irrelevant story. So please always observe in a proper manner. The emotion which you create should be manageable. It should be healthy emotion. Healthy emotion means responsible, caring, working as a proper cooperation, and not in terms of a superhero or trying to be melodramatic. Be with simple thing. Apathetic or egocentric emotion will always get you rejection. If you try to show that the person himself did it all, or the person did not care and went away, it will go against you. Now once we come down, plot should be straight and simple. Yes, because if it is not clear, you make too many complications in the plot. It speaks of your complicated thought process, and this will be the reason of your rejection. The character thinking process should be also written clearly. It should be understood. The character's action after the thought must be written clearly. What is he really doing? And what was the reason of the thought also you can write. You may have more than one action. Of course, sometimes while completing anything, you have to do one or two more things to complete it. Do that. So that your complete story comes. The action should be complete, because think takes time to complete, and you should show that. And this way you can come up with a complete story. The necessary negativity to highlight and multiply the situation. If you write, dramatize that this person came and this happened, it will show negative thought. So don't do that. The story length can range from 60 to 110 words. And the theme of the story, which we want, should be freshly produced. Now, you are seeing an agricultural thing. You do not have to completely do an overhauling of the entire village. But you can pick one specific thing, go deeper, solve it. So, like if you see an irrigation problem in the village and you solve it with proper details, it will be a better story, rather than completely solving all the problems of the village. So this way it will look more clear. Negative word must not be used in story writing, as it reflects negative beliefs, emotions, and perception. So it will show that you are basically coming up with negative beliefs, emotion and perception. Description of the picture and unnecessary praise of the main hero will also be unfortunate. Let the character's thought, emotion and action, the way he works, the way he takes everybody together, let him define what kind of person he is. Right? So now summary of story framing, we're going to make it short. So then we will do the second session where we'll talk about narration and discussion. Identify all the characters in the picture shown mentally so that you are able to identify. Use a single name. Don't try to use too many names. It will confuse the reader, the evaluator, who's your hero. So use one name, and generally you can use the other people as his friend or his parents or other things. You can use pronouns for that matter. Now we come down, decide the plot. Yes, you should decide what it is. It has to be day-to-day life. There's nothing big thing. You don't have to show that you went and saved New York or you went and got the Trump or something like that. You don't have to do that. Now, initiate a relevant situation solution which is practical, step-by-step working. Add action, whatever you really want to add. And end with completion of the action. End it up positively. Anybody and everybody who does good work and believes that the action will be completed is positive. So do that. Or appreciation. And do not end it up with appreciation of others every time. It will show poor self-motivation. So this is something which I want. Now we will be talking about example stories. 2 people discussing. This one M21, M20. Please listen to that. Title of the story we have written as Sports Challenge. Ravi was playing a vice captain of the football team. Then what happened? The captain unfortunately got ill. So what did Ravi do? He took charge from there. He understood what the captain wanted to tell. And thereafter he applied all the strategies. He also added new strategies with the help of all the fellow players. And then what he did was he prepared himself thoroughly. Now once the team was sure to win. Luckily the captain arrived at the last moment. They combined all the things, briefed the captain what it was, and thereafter they went and won the match. Now this shows a very good character who is able to take the challenge as well as not be greedy of credit only, but does it very nicely. Now here we come down to 2 people discussing in market. Now here one person is there, this is there, again marking, look at the marking done. You learn from this. Then the title of the story here is Town Planning. Now Ravi was newly appointed as town planner. So now what is a town planner? They basically go into a proper understanding how to do things and what are the problems, and thereafter they solve the problem. Yes, town planner often also plans things in new places, but it also corrects remedies. So you can do that. So he basically identifies the challenges which the people are facing, and thereafter with the help of reaching out, he goes down, listens to everyone, he gets an idea and he makes a good plan to make the time more comfortable, do it within the budget, that means good intelligent planning. And finally, he also takes the help of elderly residents so that his plan becomes wonderful and applicable to all. So now see, what does it come? It's a very simple story, but deep and proper. Shows good emotions of responsible, active, organized planning. Is it clear? So I hope you've learned something about this. Now we will be talking about narration. We'll be giving you a short break and coming to that. I hope it's understood. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.